హాస్పిటల్‌కి వెళ్ళినా కాల్ జే
See, flow decision activity and while activity and do while activity. See, this flow decision activity, it is also similar to if activity. Okay, so we know about that if activity. So if activity contains that two branches, right? Either if branch or else branch. If the condition is true, go to that if branch. If the condition is false, go to that else branch. So the flow decision also similarly it will be works. And while activity, while and do while activities, these are called as loops. Okay, see, we know about that while loop and do while loop in C language. Actually, we have a for loop, while loop, and do while loop in C language. But our UI path, there is no for loop. Okay, so we have a while and do while activity. See, basically, so these loops mainly used to repeat a single statement or more than one statement more than one time. That's why we are using that while and do while. First of all, we'll discuss about that flow decision activity. Okay. See, go to the studio, go to the TI-Path studio. See, click on the transactional process. Flow decision activity. Select that location. Click on that create. Click on that open main workflow. And remove this flow chart. Delete it. See, I want to drag if activity and flow decision activity. Flow decision. See, right now we are discussing about this flow decision activity. See, observe this one. So the if activity contains the branches, right? So it is having that if branch and then else branch. It contains two branches. One is called as if branch, another one is called as else branch. If the condition is true, so go and execute in this if branch. If the condition is false, go to the go and execute in that else branch. This is the if activity. Observe this one. See, there is a flow decision activity. This flow decision activity also having the two directions. Once the condition is true, go to one direction. If the condition is false, and go to that another direction. Or if the condition is true, go to that left direction, and then the condition is true, go to that left direction, and condition is false, go to that right direction. Okay, so this activity contains the directions. See, interview point of view, they will ask you what is the difference between if activity and flow decision activity. They will ask you. Right now, see, what is the difference between what is the difference between if activity and flow decision activity. Flow decision activity. Observe this. If activity, it contains branches. Branches. And if activity, we can use it in process workflow and transactional process. Okay, so this if activity, we can use it in both the process workflow and transactional process. See, that means go to that home. This is a process workflow. This is a transactional process. Right now we are in transactional process. In two workflows, we can use that if activity. Once if you go to that flow decision activity, flow decision activity, it contains directions. It contains directions. So flow decision activity, we can use it in transactional process only. Okay, see, the flow decision activity, we can use it in transactional process only. The flow decision activity we cannot use in, so there is no possibility to use it in process workflow. See, process workflow is called as a linear workflow. Observe this one. The process workflow is called as a linear workflow. One by one activities, one by one executes. But transactional process, it is a non-linear workflow. So that's why we can, in this transactional process, only we can use that flow decision activity. Okay, observe this one. I want to implement simple process. Just I want to take one sequence, set as start node. See, I want to take one variable, go to that variable panel. See, where is the variable? It is an integer type. Scope is main scope. Observe this. In the sequence, just double click on the sequence. I want to take one input dialog box, input dialog box. See, at runtime, I want to take one input into that var variable. Okay, into this variable, I want to take one input. So that's why I have taken that input dialog box. Right now, I am not giving any title and any label. Simply, I will pass that variable. Okay, var is the variable. Just I have passed it. And again, come back to that main scope. Okay, come back to that main. See, observe this. I will connect this sequence to this flow decision activity. Just I have connected. So this flow decision activity contains the directions, either true or false. See, in two directions, I will take two message boxes. Just I will take one message box. So once the condition is true, go this direction, and here simply I want to display the messages. Continue business process, come back, drag a message box, and then see, if the condition is false, just I want to connect it to this message box. Simply here I want to write that message is retry. Retry. So again, this message box, I will connect it to the previous sequence. Okay. See, in this flow decision activity, just click on that flow decision activity, go to their properties. See, select the flow decision activity and go to their properties. In this properties, there is a condition. Here I want to give the condition is called as var greater than 5. Observe this one. See, in sequence, I have taken that one input dialog box. At runtime, I am taking that input. So, and if the input value is greater than the 5, observe this one. Move your cursor on flow decision activity. It is showing that condition where greater than 5. What are the input values taken? If the input value is greater than 5, the condition is true. Go to that one direction. If the input value is less than the 5, that means the condition is false. Go to that another direction. Okay, and this direction is also again connected to so previous sequence. So that's why again it will be repeated. Observe this one. See, click on the debug, click on the debug. So right now it is asking that input. Just I want to give that input value is called as 3. See, as per the condition, observe this one, 3 greater than 5. The condition is wrong. So that's why go to this direction. This time again redirected to previous sequence, right? Again, I want to give that input is called as 5. 5 greater than 5. Again, the condition is false. Okay. So 5 is not greater than that 5. Okay. So that's why again, the condition is false. Go to that another direction and then go to that previous sequence. See, again, it is asking that input value. See, I want to give that input is called as 6. So click on that OK. The condition is true, go to this direction, another direction, then the condition is true, and then simply display the messages continue business process. Okay. This activity also we are very frequently using this one. See, we know about that. See, uh, everyone having that net banking. Okay. For example, if you wants to download that report in that net bank, that means last 1 month transaction report, I wants to download from that. So net banking itself. This time in that net banking, we have a two calendars. One is called as from date, another one is called as to date. Here, uh, for example, I wants to download the report from um, May 1st to May 30th. Okay, so we have a two calendars. In the from date calendar, I have to select the date is called as 1st May 2021. And to date calendar, we have to select 30th May 2021. This time, see, there is a condition. The condition is, see, so from date always less than the to date. To date is called as very recent date. This is the highest date. Okay. And from date is called as the lowest date. Okay. See, this is the main condition. Unfortunately, unfortunately, from that to date, so unfortunately, from from date calendar itself, I have selected the date is called as 30th May 2021, and to date calendar I have selected that 1st May 2021. I have selected. This time, if you are trying to download that so transaction report, simply it will be show that one error. Please change the dates. Like one red message will be displayed in your net banking. That means, see, at that time, whatever the action you have performed previously, again, that you have to repeat it. That means, again, you have to change the dates. See, already just you have selected the dates, but wrongly you have selected. So that's why again you have to change the dates. So after changing the dates, and then successfully we can download that report. Okay. See, in the same way, whatever the action you have performed previously, see that action if you wants to repeat at that time, we have to use that flow decision activity. Observe this one. Previously, I have taken that. So one input value in the sequence. Observe this one. Before the flow decision activity, I have taken that input into that one variable, that is var. Okay, by using that input dialog box, I have taken. Okay, but here the condition is not satisfied. If the condition is not satisfied in the sense, again you have to repeat it. Okay, again up to giving that correct value, it has to repeat it. Okay, so once if you given that correct value as per the condition, then it will be go to that another direction. Okay, see, whatever the action you have performed previously, that action if you wants to repeat it again based on that condition, at that time we have to use that flow decision is the activity. See, I want to tell you one more example. See, I have opened one web page. I have given that wrong credentials, user ID and password. I opened that website. I have given that wrong password. Click on that submit. Okay, simply it will show that error. Then again we have to give that another password. Okay, another user id and password. That means previously you have given that user id and password but unfortunately given that wrong. So that's why again you have to repeat that same action. As a human I am repeating that one. Okay, as a robot. Okay, see, our bot also must be perform like a human. So that's why here, based on these conditions, it will be repeat. Okay, again it will be in case if it is not logging to that web page pro- properly, then again that means the credentials is wrong. Again it will be repeated. Okay, up to giving the correct credentials. Okay, in that scenario also we are using this flow decision is the activity. Okay, see, observe this one. In this direction, so I have taken only one message box. If it is required, if you wants to take more than one activities at that time, simply drag one more sequence here. Just you can drag and drop one more sequence. See, okay, and then just you have to connect it to this sequence. You can connect it to this sequence. Observe this one. In the sequence, we can drag and drop more than one activities inside the sequence. Observe this. Right now, it is not necessary for me. So simply, I'm using this message box. Okay. Do you have any doubts here? See, this use case, you have to try to practice this one. So, but I will give that whatever sample use cases day after tomorrow. I mean, Monday I will give that use cases uh, in this concept. Okay. See,
Okay.
right now I want to explain variable scope. Variable scope. Go to the F drive. Select that 7 p.m. batch. Click on that create. Yes. So click on that open main workflow. Remove this flow chart. See, go to the variable panel. We have a default variable, right? This is the default variable. Remove it. So right now I want to drag one sequence. The sequence I will connect it to the start node. Right click and set as start node. And I want to take one more sequence, and then this sequence I will connect it to this another sequence. See, I have connected to that another sequence. Observe this one. Just I have selected this sequence. I want to change the name of the sequence. See, observe this. first sequence, first sequence. Okay, so another one, I didn't change the name. See, already we know that. So this is the, see, it is the main workflow. In this main workflow, this is called as a work area. This is called as a work area. In this work area, you can drag and drop more than one activities. Okay, so right now I have dragged two sequences, I have connected one with another one. Okay, see, I will go to the variable panel. So click on that, create variable, and I want to create the variable is called as a is the variable. Type is called as integer type. Observe this one. Here the scope is called as main scope. See, main scope in the sense the activity. See, this variable can be accessible in entire this main workflow. Okay, in this entire this main workflow, in all sequences, that variable can be accessible. Okay, see, for example, I will double click on that first sequence, drag that assign activity, drag that assign activity, and a equals to 100. See, there is no error right now. Okay, because a variable can be accessible here. See, come back again, select that second sequence, drag that assign activity. Right now, a equals to 200. Right now also no error, because see, this variable is created with main scope. Main scope in the sense the variable can be accessible in entire the workflow. In all sequences, we can use that, we can use that variable. Okay. So in the first sequence, so I have assigned that a value is 100, and in second sequence, in in second sequence, see, I have assigned that a value is 200. Okay, it is accessible because it is declared with a variable is declared with main scope. So I want to show you that local scope. See, I want to select the first sequence. Just I have selected the first sequence. Go to that variable panel. In this variable panel, go to the scope. In this scope, see, if I select that first sequence, that variable can be accessible only first sequence only. Okay, observe this. See, in the first sequence, there is no error. Observe this. There is no error. As usual, a equals to 100. But the second sequence is showing that error. Observe this one. What exactly the error? See, just move your cursor in this validation. See, A is not declared. It may be inaccessible due to its protection level. Okay, see, I have changed that variable scope. My variable scope is called as a local scope. So my variable scope is local to this first sequence. Okay, my variable scope is local to this first sequence. So that's why here there is no error. But so second sequence is showing that error. Okay, observe this one. If I change it to, if I change it to main scope, main scope, the variable can be accessible entire that workflow. So that's why again there is no error, right? See, observe this. Right now I have selected that second sequence. Go to the variable panel and go to that scope and select the second sequence. And then this time first sequence is showing that error because that variable is local to this second sequence. Okay, so that's why there is no error. But First sequence is showing that error. So again, A is not declared. It may be inaccessible due to its protection level. Okay. See, observe this. I will select that second sequence and then change the scope, main scope. So day to day, whatever that use cases just you are going to developing, simply just you have to declare that variable with the main scope because we don't have any issues. So that variable can be accessible in entire that workflow. So that's why just you have to select that scope is called as main scope. Okay. If it is required, if you wants to work, if you wants to use that specific variable in within the particular sequence at that time only, just you have to give that local scope. Okay. Particular sequence scope. Okay. See, just this scope just you have to try to understand. And in C language also we have a variable scope. In case if you have created the variable before that main, that is called as a global variable. If the variable is created in any subprogram, so that variable is local to that particular subprogram. Okay, that variable can be accessible only within the sequence. But if you create that variable with the main scope, say if you create the variable with if you create that global variable in C language, that variable can be accessible in all the subprograms. Okay, but here simply select that main scope. Okay, this one just you have to remind it. Do you have any doubts here?
No, sir.
See, right now I want to explain while activity. While activity, click on that create. Click on that open main workflow. Remove this flowchart. See, I want to drag one sequence set as start node. Observe this one. Just I want to display a simple message 5 times. This time, just we have to take that 5 message boxes, right? Observe this one. Drag 5 message boxes. 2, 3, 4, and 5. So simply I want to display UiPath message 5 times. Same, I will repeat in all. See, if you want to display the same message up to 100 times, this time we have to take 100 message boxes. Sometimes if you want to display that message up to 1000 times, this time we have to take that more message boxes. It is too much complex to handle this one. Okay, so if you want to handle this kind of situations, then we have to use that loops. We know about that loops in C language. So for loop, while loop, and do while loop. Okay, see, basically if you want to repeat a single statement or more than one statement more than one time, at that time we have to use that so loops. Okay, we have to use that loops. See, right now just I want to display that UiPath message 5 times by using that loops. Okay, right now here we have a two loops that is called as while and do while loop and do while loop. Observe this one. Drag that while. My aim is to display that simple message up to 5 times or simple message up to 100 times. Okay. So simply I will, that means I will take that only one message box and I will repeat that message box up to 100 times or 10 times based on your requirement. So this time just I have taken that while is the activity. See, if you want to run a loop, just we have to give that initial value and give that condition and increment or decrement. See, just we have to add it. See, if you want to run a loop initially, we have to create the variable. Just I want to create the variable is called as I. This is called as integer type. Scope is main scope. See, my aim is to display that message up to 5 times. That means starting with first time and ending with fifth time. Fifth time starting time in the sense, first time we are going to starting, and then fifth time in the sense it is called as a condition, right? See, we have to start from one itself and then stop after five. Okay, see, right now drag that one assign activity to give that initial value. So I is equal to 1. So where exactly how to start, where exactly how to stop, we have to specify. See, my aim is to display that message up to 5 times. So I is equal to 1 I have taken. Here I am giving that condition is called as I less than or equals to 5. 5 times it has to repeat the loop, and after that inside that body just I want to display the message is called as UI path. UI path. Observe this one. And we have to increase that loop. Okay. If you want to increase the loop, again, you have to drag and drop assign activity. See, I equals to I plus 1. Observe this one. Initial value is 1. Initial value is 1. 1 less than or, that means I contains that 1. 1 less than or equals to 5. The condition is true and execute in the body and display that UI path message. Okay. And again, I value increases. Okay. I value is initially 1, right? 1 is equal to 1 plus 1. I contains that 1, right? 1 plus 1 in the sense 2. I value is 2. And again, it will be check the condition. Okay, it will be check the condition. This time the condition is 2. 2 less than or equals to 5. The condition is true. Again, execute in the body and then increase that I value. I value is 2 equals to 2 plus 1. Right now, 2 equals to 2 plus 1 in the sense, so I value is called as 3. Again, it will check the condition 3 less than or equals to 5. Okay, so this looping will be continue up to the condition is failed. If the I value is 6, automatically it will come out from this loop. Okay, see, if you want to run a loop, just you must be give that initial value. That means where exactly we have to start, and give that condition where exactly we have to stop, and then see and increase or increment, increase the value or decrease the value. So right now I have given that increment. Okay, based on your requirement. See, observe this one. I will check it whether it is so successfully repeating that so UiPath message 5 times or not. So click on that debug. See, first time, increase the I value and repeated. The condition is true, so that's why it is repeating. I think third time, fourth time, fifth time. Once the condition is failed, come out from that loop. Okay. See, observe this one. If I wants to display this UiPath message up to 100 times, simply in this condition, I will give that only I less than or equals to 100. This time, no need to take that more message boxes, right? So that's why we are using that loops. Okay. If you want to repeat a single statement or more than one statement, more than one time, at that time only we have to use that loops. Okay. So we are very frequently using that loops concept. Do you have any queries right now? Any
No,
doubt?
sir.
Okay. Observe this one. See here, while running this loop, it is displaying that UiPath message, right? Just I want to display that iterations also. Here, I value is changing every time, right? So that's why just I want to add that plus operator and then I dot to string, I dot to string, I dot to string. Observe this one. What exactly will happens? See, click here, run that file. Observe this one. This is the UiPath first time, second time, third time, fourth time, and fifth time. Once the condition is false at sixth time, come out from that loop itself. Okay. Right now, I want to give that simple use case. Observe this. Print 1 to 10 numbers in ascending order using while activity. Okay. Just simply I will give that one more use case. Find sum of 1 to 10 numbers using using while activity. And third use case is find student total and average if average is above 35, if average is above 35, print a message is he is pass. If average is below 35, print a message is he is fail. Okay. See, observe this one. First, print 1 to 10 numbers in ascending order. So that means take as usual. So see, you can use that message box or else right line activity. If you use that right line activity, then here we can it will be displayed 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 like that. It will display here. Okay. In case if you take that message box, So it will display that 1, 2, 3, 4. That means every time you have to click on that OK button in that message box. Okay, observe this one. So in this use case, where exactly you have to modify this? See, my use case is first one. This is the first one. Print 1 to 10 numbers in ascending order using while activity. See, almost I have implemented the use case. Okay, where exactly you have to modify this one? Just you people take 2 minutes. Then anyone, please tell me. Nitya, please tell me.
Um, I equal to 1, I less than or equal to 10.
Yes,
Uh,
that is correct. In this
yeah,
message box, simply remove this UiPath message and simply use that I dot to string. That is enough, right?
yeah.
I value is changing every time, so it is displayed in the message box. Okay, simple use case. Just you have to try to implement this one. See, observe this. See, second use case is, so just you have to find a sum of 1 to 10 numbers. See, I have to add that 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus up to 10. We have to add it. The final result is 55. Okay, just you have to try this one. And then third one is called as find student total and average. If you take the three subjects, okay, if you take the three subjects, uh, just you have to take three variables for input and then find the total and average. For finding the total and average purpose, you have to create two more variables. Okay, see, find the total and average. In case if the average is whatever that average is stored in that particular variable, if the average is, for example, that means how can you find the total? Total is equal to, so uh, that means what are the subjects? Okay, maths plus physics plus chemistry, like that. So and average means average equals to total by number of subjects. Okay, so then you will get that average. So here we have to take the decision. How can you take a decision? By using that if activity. Okay, by using that if activity, you can take a decision. See, that means average greater than 35. If the average is greater than or equals to 35, he is pass. In case the average is less than, in case the person got that average is only 34, this time automatically the condition is false, go to the else branch and display message is called as he is fail. So these two use cases you have just try to implement this one. Okay, and at the time of implement, just you will get some issue. And once if you get that issue, and tomorrow just you have to ask me. Tomorrow Saturday, but we have a class. Okay,